recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZedGamesAU.
This is Zed Games. I'm your host tonight, Paul, and joining me are my good friends Elliott.
Yo.
And Hazel.
Hey.
Very happy to have you both in the studio tonight. And what an exciting night it will be. We're going to do our news. Then we're going to talk about the elephant in everyone's room, Elden Ring, which I have been obsessing to the point of it has infiltrated my dreams now.
I'm trying to think of a pun between elephant and Elden, and I've got nothing. Elden fun.
Yeah, it's not a pun. We can mash the words together. It is fun though. I can't. Yeah. Let's move on to greener pastures. And then Elliot, we will be talking about a Gran Turismo 7.
Yes, very exciting.
Yeah, brum brum, all that stuff.
I love cars.
So does my 1-year-old son.
I am on par with your one-year-old son.
I feel like I'm going to have to take an interest now. He's very into them. Like, oh, damn it. Just look at all the Mario things. Do that. But anyway, before we talk more rubbish, let's just jump into the news.
This week in gaming news. Indie dev gets review bombed on Steam after slipping anti-mask rhetoric into patch notes. The most recent patch for indie game Domina featured an angry rant from the developer Dolphin Barn, hidden between legitimate updates. The tirade shared his opinions on mask mandates and COVID-19. Take off the masks, the patch notes say between legitimate patch updates. Next time you're at the grocery store, try showing a woman your face. Be confident, unafraid of the lies. You might get a girlfriend. Women like confidence. Women don't like dudes who cover their faces in fear. What are you afraid of? Getting laid? Grow up. Many players took issue with the developer's words, and there has been an intense backlash on social media as well as a deluge of negative reviews on Steam. The game previously boasted a very positive rating from over 7,000 happy players, but after the patch notes, the game faced a flood of negative reviews with less than 30% of recent reviews having anything positive to say. Politics and personal views should never be part of the gaming market, reads a recent review. Strangely, this isn't the first time Dolphin Barn shared their opinions in the patch notes for Domina. One notable example is a previous update that included a rant about weak men, succubus titty, and solving the energy crisis. Tencent becomes the majority investor in Tequila Works. Indie developer Tequila Works' portfolio includes 2012's Deadlight and 2017's Rhyme. They're also working on the upcoming Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, for publisher Riot Games. A recent Twitter post from the Spanish developer has announced that Chinese technology firm Tencent is now the studio's majority shareholder. It is unclear if this was the result of a direct negotiation between Tencent and Tequila, trades between independent stakeholders, or a combination of the two. Whatever the case though, it seems like the studio is positive about the new partnership. Luz Sanchez, Tequila Works chairwoman, said, "We are delighted to ally with a partner that allows us to make Tequila Works a stronger studio with access to all the resources required to produce titles of the highest quality, all made with the care and passion our beloved fans know us for, as well as the opportunity to bring these projects to a wider audience." Devolver Digital co-founder Mike Wilson has announced the formation of a new company focused on using video games as a tool for mental health, Deepwell. Deepwell will define the standard for video games with proven mental health benefits and help players find engaging, enjoyable, and beneficial video games. A three-pronged approach will see them producing original titles, working with other developers on titles in production, and certifying already existing games under their standards. Firstly, they will be developing and publishing original games designed to be therapeutic and entertaining. They aim for these games to appeal to all players, not just those searching to improve their mental health. Additionally, they have formed an advisory council of over 40 medical researchers, doctors, and veteran game developers. The goal here is to form partnerships with existing developers working on games that have therapeutic potential and assist them in meeting the council's standards. Finally, they will work to identify existing games that have potential mental health benefits, analyze them, highlighting their therapeutic qualities, and, where possible, certifying them. Inspiration came when Wilson received letters from around the world discussing the role Fall Guys had in maintaining their mental health during the brunt of COVID-19. He could see and feel the positive effect that video games could have in the world, but knew they lacked the medical knowledge and tools to make them truly effective. His partner, former Nextturn CEO Ryan Douglas, has a medical background and so comes at the problem from the opposite side. He has seen many companies attempt to use video games to deliver therapeutics, but they often fail to capture what makes video games truly fun and engaging for the users. If you create a pill that cures cancer and people won't take it, have you really created a treatment, a solution? I think that we need to start saying the answer is no. Hogwarts Legacy State of Play set for March 18th. PlayStation Australia has announced a State of Play focused entirely on upcoming game Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is due out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC later this year. More than half of the stream will showcase gameplay footage of Hogwarts Legacy captured on the PS5. This will be accompanied with discussion and insight from team members at Avalanche Software. You can catch the stream live on Twitch and YouTube this Friday, 8 AM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. There aren't a lot of games coming out in the next week, but two notable titles are Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS on the 18th of March, and Rune Factory 5 coming to the Switch on the 22nd of March. And that's all this week in gaming news.
Thank you for all that news, Melee. Yes, and Stranger of Paradise coming out, kind of already out if you bought deluxe editions. That game, oh boy, is it just an amazing, like, B-grade, non-aware train wreck, but also some people do love it. It's just, I don't know if you remember the E3 stuff with the whole, I'm here to fight chaos. Chaos consumes.
Right.
Oh, it's like got a million great quotes in it.
Here to kill chaos.
Yeah. I'm chaos? No. And everyone's just called like Jeff and Bill. Like they don't really have like fantasy names either.
The main guy is just called Jack, I
think it's like, yeah, Jack. Yeah. Like, okay. I probably won't play. I didn't really like the demo much. It's because it's not quite my kind of fighter.
I've heard someone speculate that it's going to be about like going back in time through the early Final Fantasy games.
I'm not sure.
And fighting like some of the original villains or something.
It certainly continues after the first.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Who knows? Everyone's just wearing jeans and talking about chaos a lot.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. And I know it's a small story that Bailey brought up, but the Domina dev that just okay, he proved one thing. He proved people read his patch notes. Hey, that's not bad. It's like when people slip in weird things into terms and conditions to see if anyone notices. Probably don't put weird political feelings in things. But unfortunately, afterwards I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this game before. That's all right. What's this? The soundtrack's really good. I'm like, oh, I can't play on the show. I don't want to play this kind of stuff. But the composer isn't that guy. So I'm like, I'll try it. He did some other games, but the best soundtrack's that one. So I'm like, damn it. Another time. We are now going to talk about some Elden Ring. Okay. Elden Ring by From Software. How does one go about reviewing a game like Elden Ring? Having sold 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks, one of the highest scored games of all times, and destroyer of YouTube algorithms. The game is ambitious, vast, full of mysteries I couldn't hope to properly convey here. So instead I'm going to talk about what might be worth knowing before deciding to dive in. The quickest overview I can give of Elden Ring and its predecessors, Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1-3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, which form the foundation of what is commonly referred to as the Soulsborne genre, is that they're third-person action games with RPG character progression. When you kill an enemy, you collect souls, or whatever that game's equivalent is, and you can spend that on leveling or other game rewards. If you die, however, you drop all the souls you're carrying, and you have to make your way back to that point to pick them up. If you die before doing that, they're gone forever. You make progress by finding bonfires, which act as respawn locations, and also refill your healing items when you rest at them. They also respawn every enemy you've killed. Other than that, they have a notoriety for crazy bosses, opaque storytelling, and punishing difficulty. Oh, and the whole UI basically has never changed and could really use an overhaul. In Elden Ring, we call souls runes, bonfires a lost grace, and so on, but the core is the same. But this time, there's an open world. Don't let those 10 out of 10 reviews fool you. Elden Ring is not a game for everyone, and for some people who it is for, they may get turned off through no fault of their own. The game carries on the strong tradition of From Software's games, of throwing the player into an oppressive world and giving them very little instruction on how everything works. The explanations given in Elden Ring I actually found a little more straightforward than their previous efforts, but there's one big caveat. While Souls games normally have given player options of where to explore, they've never been open world before. In Elden Ring, you can walk straight past basic introductions to mechanics and be none the wiser. It's been a common complaint online that many players actually walk straight past the tutorial. About 10 hours or so into my playthrough, I was talking to some friends about the game, and they were discussing their spirit summons, creatures you can summon to help you in battle. They can even be upgraded, and valuable tools they are. Of course, I didn't go to the church at night after another event, so I never got this information. I was able to go elsewhere and purchase the equipment needed for a very cheap price, but that was something I didn't even know I was missing out on while other people were unleashing packs of ghost wolves to tear their enemies apart 5 minutes into the game. I don't consider this bad, however, because the openness of the world, everyone will find their own paths, make their own stories, and find their own unique equipment, which will help guide them of how they choose to develop their character. To that end, my suggestion is to play the game with a small group. Try to stay off YouTube with their guides for overpowered builds and rune farms, but a small group of people discovering secrets and sharing them to solve greater mysteries seems just perfect. The world is too vast to tie everything together yourself unless you're someone with a huge amount of time to invest. And here's the trick about the game. Elden Ring contains Dark Souls 4. Enter a dungeon and you're back to a more traditional challenge. The open world is gone. It's the best of both worlds, giving players an amount of choice that they want to do. They actually call those dungeons legacy dungeons because they are what they used to do, not the open world.
Of course.
The other hallmark of Soulsborne games is their difficulty. It's part of the marketing after all. Prepare to die. Brutal, difficult, and kind of a lie. Elden Ring, perhaps even more so. Now, I'm not going to pretend for a second that these games aren't challenging. But the games have always given players tools to increase their power and abilities, and the bosses may occasionally have some troll moves, but they're really no different to other bosses in action games. Learn the moveset, and then practice your execution. Feel you don't do enough damage? Well, here's the beauty of the open world. Go do something else. Never has disengagement been such a viable option in a Soulsborne game. And this is due to both the open world and the magic horse button you have. Torrent is your horse-goat companion, which you acquire at the start of the game. Sneak up on an enemy, stab them in the back, and notice it barely affects their health bar. Run away! Not only can you run away from the majority of encounters, but Torrent allows you to explore the vast, twisted landscape quickly and quite safely. You can still be hit on your horse, so you're not invulnerable, but maybe don't ride directly into a dragon's nest, but generally just a quick gallop and a double jump away. That's right, your magic horse can double jump. Never have I enjoyed more relaxed Sunday rides through a hellscape as in Elden Ring. Again, I was talking to someone that said they'd played for 8 hours and all they'd done was bash their head against the tree sentinel. And they hadn't beaten him yet. I looked a little embarrassed. I didn't know what the tree sentinel even was, and I was 12 hours in. Turns out, when you first enter the open world, the giant golden knight on a horse that's about 200 meters in front of you is called the tree sentinel. I'd walked around him. Now, he can be beaten with a fresh character, but that's probably not something anyone was doing their first playthrough, and would be a challenge for a very specifically minded player. And here's where I'm going to go against one of my earlier recommendations. The internet has exploded with content on Elden Ring, and it's amazing. Speedrunners have been going nuts. At the time of recording, the world record is around 27 minutes or so, I think. Last time I looked. I think it was 28 this morning. I think there might have been another one. This is a game that takes most players 80 to 100 hours to beat, and it's only a couple of weeks after release. People are making powerful and funny builds, and there's a real fun culture around the game. In-game as well exists the classic From Software messaging system, where players leave messages in the world to help, trick, or normally just make a bad joke. Since you can't type, you must choose from pre-selected words, so you're going to see a lot of try fingers, butthole. And honestly, it's the kind of weird meme culture in the game just makes me laugh. If you do find it distracting, you can always play offline, but part of the joy of the game is summoning other players, being invaded by other players, and occasionally invading other players yourself. And if anything, all this external stuff, the messaging, the YouTube videos, the wikis, it's a reason to play now instead of later. The community is still solving mysteries in the game, and being part of it, even as an observer, certainly adds value to the experience. I haven't actually mentioned the world and the story at all yet. One of the early hype points was that Game of Thrones George R. R. Martin was writing on the game, and his influence is very interesting. Those aware of From Software and game director Hideki Miyazaki's previous work would recognize the world and the writing as undoubtedly the same team. So what did Martin do? Turns out he designed the world before the shattering of the Elden Ring, which is now corrupted and left the world in its state. George set up the dominoes, and Miyazaki got to come in and knock them down with crows that have knives for feet. It's seemingly a very successful strategy, as the world is rich and dense with stories I've thankfully been able to follow better than any other Soulsborne game. The game tracks very little for you. The HUD is minimal, and there's no quest log. If you meet someone, it's up to you to remember who they are and what they want, so it's actually worth keeping a notepad and pen nearby if you're wanting to follow these quests. It's wonderfully old school, and what it expects from the player. But you'll have just a fine time tooling around, randomly stumbling into dungeons and finding yourself in the middle of things you can't fully comprehend. Players will be playing this game for a very long time. It's so large, full of systems to explore and mysteries to uncover. The online lore videos, speedrunning, and compilations of mad shenanigans are already next level. It's not just a game, but a culture to take part in. It's not flawless, but the sum of its parts is why it's so celebrated. Elden Ring is available for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. I played it on PS5, and while it ran well there, there's nothing notable about my platform of choice to recommend it over any other. It also apparently runs very well on the Steam Deck, which we can't get in Australia anyway. So, prepare to die. Well, almost die, then hit the magic horsey button. Yay! No, I've been having a lovely time. Oh yeah, if it wasn't clear, I haven't finished the game.
Yeah.
I normally note that when I don't. Yeah. Is as I say, like if you are skilled in a Souls-like game, and you just go and do the main quest, like because even Miyazaki was originally saying it was a 30-hour long game. What a liar! But it is. It is if you do that. You're just missing everything else that's in the world. I really spent most of my time just exploring. I think it wasn't until about 15 hours that I really started like looking at the combat. I'd just do a little bit of sneaky up, stabby, steal some stuff, and
My favorite thing about the way the messaging system works is because you've got those, it gives you a limited set of words that you can write a message with. And for players playing in other languages, it's automatically translated.
yes,
So a lot of the jokes don't quite make it through translation.
no.
So Japanese players were desperately trying to figure out something was happening after sundown at some kind of fortress.
Oh, the Fortnite. Yeah, this was.
Yes,
yeah.
because English players were just writing the word Fortnite everywhere.
It's like, well, I don't understand what's going on. It is funny for how serious and dour it looks, how silly the game can be. And I haven't really been frustrated at all. Partly because I leave if it's annoying.
Yeah,
So-
I had the same. Like, I've only played a little bit of it because I've been playing Gran Turismo to, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's so much more chill than the Souls games because I feel like the Souls games, like you're very stuck. You know, if you're stuck in an area, it's like
Yeah, you might have a few ways to go, but you've already gone the easiest route, so the other ones aren't really a good option.
Yeah.
And there's just a big boss there, and if you're not good at the boss, you ask for help, and everyone just comes back annoyingly saying, "Get good."
Yeah.
It's like, here, you just jump magic horsey. Like the first sort of big legacy dungeon with the first big boss and lord you're supposed to kill, I just rode past it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, people started talking about a secret way. I'm like, a secret way? I thought I went the actual way. And I'm like exploring the mid game when I was like level 2. It's like, cool. But you can because most things can just be fought at any level. You just get better and more confident and with cool skills.
Yeah.
I love watching high level player builds because it's just like I don't even understand what game they're playing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm a chick that can got a cool scythe and I've got fire magic, and I thought that was pretty fancy, and I don't know what I'm talking about compared to those players. They're bringing down gods. Anyway.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is Zed Games. I am Paul, and joining me here are Elliot and Hazel.
Yo.
Hey.
And now, Elliot, you have some lovely treats for us.
I am going to talk about Gran Turismo 7.
I've heard of that series.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a bit of a niche one. I don't know if anyone will sort of
It's minor.
be here for that, but, I'm going to talk about it anyway. So, as a casual fan of racing sims, I was pretty excited for Gran Turismo 7 to release. Having been an Xbox player for, most of my adolescence, it's my first leap into the series. So I didn't really know what to expect, but after playing it for a bit, I've come to realize that it's probably the best game to jump into as a first-timer. There's a really big focus on the single player, which is different from GT Sport. It has a campaign mode of sorts that's called the cafe, and it kind of slowly introduces you into the features of the game, like purchasing cars, modifying them, acquiring different licenses and stuff. And it introduces you to different courses and race types as well, and gifts you cars and shows you the history of the cars and their significance in the industry. Very cool. Yeah. The game looks really cool. It does look like a video game. I know it's Forza sometimes. It looks very pretty. The scenery and stuff has a big focus in Forza, especially Horizon. In GT, I'm very acutely aware that it is a video game. But the cars are gorgeous, and the lighting is really, really cool. You can drive around the track, and it'll be dusk, and it'll slowly change from dusk to just night driving, and it's really smooth, and it's just stunning. The sky is really cool.
And the wheels are so round now.
They are so round. No square wheels. It's great. In saying that, I can't see the point of choosing the looks over performance when you have the choice when you start. Ray tracing doesn't really do much. I think the cars look better without the ray tracing, so if you have a PS5 and you're playing it on PS5, I don't know. It's your choice, obviously, but I don't see the point.
I see a very rare person choosing the quality over performance modes.
Yeah, exactly.
The rays have been traced, the aliases have been antied.
Exactly, yeah. In terms of gameplay, I do not have a racing wheel because I'm a filthy casual. But I do have a DualSense controller, and it has motion controls. So I get to steer with my motion controls.
I'm using
it's amazing.
I'm using tilt controls. That's right.
It's so great. It just tingles that little child inside of me. I love it. I love it so much.
The Mario Kart.
It's Mario
wheel.
Kart.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Mario Kart, but fancy.
Hey.
It's way more fun than using the thumbsticks. It's a time. I am too cheap to spend $500 on a wheel, so it's really cool. The haptic feedback is really good. It does feel different. I know on a Logitech wheel, you're gonna feel a lot more.
Some actual tension moving.
A lot of tension, and every car is going to feel really distinctly different. And the haptic feedback on the DualSense does do that a little bit, but I think sometimes it gets a bit overwhelmed, and everything kind of spins all at once. So I don't know. If you're expecting primo experience with it feeling really pretty, it's not, unless you're going to spend $600 on a wheel. But that's your choice. It's your choice. I'm not going to make that choice for you. If you're a veteran player, I think your mileage is going to vary from mine, because I chose a lot of the mid-range stuff. I have a lot of assists on there. I'm not changing gears because I'm a bad driver. So it's cool. I've enjoyed the gameplay quite a bit. A few things I don't love. The very first opening scene was 7 minutes, and it was unskippable.
Could you play?
It was just
a cutscene.
You're just watching. It's a cutscene. You're watching cars drive for 7 minutes.
I feel like that's becoming more of a thing with these types of games because, like, the latest Forza Horizon opens with just this.
It has
really...
too much, but at least the opening in it is you just doing a bunch of different cars.
Yeah,
and
and
then
you
it
can
goes
drive.
into
But
it.
at no point can you, like, save and exit the game.
Yeah.
You have to
during that
play through-
session.
You have to play through the whole introductory mission before you can, like, pause, save, change settings.
I don't know what it is with GT7 and Horizon. It's like, stop injecting the story. I doubt anybody cares.
Even just, like, letting me at the settings menu before that
Yeah.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Something
Especially
like that.
when you have, like, accessibility problems.
Yes, because you want to
Absolutely.
jump into it. There's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, anyway.
Yeah, well, in GT, you don't play. It's just you just watch it for 7 minutes while it plays music and has cars that drive. So I went and got a drink. Yeah. Also, I really don't like what they've done with the credit system. I don't know if you played GT Sport, but you could purchase cars. It was like $3, $5 for a car, whatever. In this one, you have to purchase the credits, and then you use the credits to buy cars, which would be fine. But, you know, if you want one of the cool fancy cars, like, I don't know, a Bugatti or something, 1 million credits, you have the choice of spending $20 or $30. So $20 gets you 750,000 credits and then 250,000 credits, 2 separate payments, or $30 gets you 2 million credits. So you get double the amount of credit. But, like, that is one car.
Yeah.
A single car.
Yeah, there was a bit of chatter online that some of the higher end cars in real world money, if you went that route, because you can still
unlock them, but it also
it was like $120 US for a car.
It's insanity.
It's
like I just can't imagine spending. Like, I've already spent, you know, realistically the game is what, $125 for the PS5
if you're playing the retail price of PS5, that's Australian price.
It's crazy. And credits take a while to save up. And there are timed vehicles. Like, if you don't have your credits...
They get the FOMO in there as well.
Yeah, you can't get that car. It is timed. So, that's frustrating.
Anybody remember Star Citizen?
I get my updates every week, thank you very much. It's the best comedy podcast I've ever... well, not podcast, newsletter I've ever subscribed to, thank you very much.
Yeah, so... If you're after a specific car and, you know, it becomes a timed thing and you don't have the credits, you're stuffed. You've got to spend that money if you really want it. Thankfully, I'm very casual, so I'm not that invested, but still, it is frustrating.
Yeah.
There is a new game mode in this one called Music Rally, where you need to race around the track to the beat of a small collection of songs. The music is very weird.
Yeah. They got some crazy music in this game.
It's just a weird collection of music. It's very...
My favorite one, because I was looking through the soundtrack beforehand, was for some of the menu music, there's like a chill lounge version of the piano song The Entertainer. And it is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. And for that reason alone, I very much recommend you look it up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because he goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and now turn that into like some sort of chill lounge music.
Yeah.
It's not, that's not a melody you can change.
It's very odd. So, like, when you're driving around, you're racing against the music, I guess. Like, you get those checkpoints that increase your time that the music will play for, I guess.
You get to listen to your favorite song for 30 seconds longer.
Exactly. Yeah, no, except it's not your favorite song. It's a weird remix of a classical music. Yeah, no, it's odd. But I mean, it's still a good time.
Yeah,
like,
does it feel like a music game in any way or anything, or is it just like
no? You're just racing and there's music in the background.
Oh, okay.
It's essentially just a time rally, I guess, with music playing.
The series is known for being that weird with the gameplay, I guess.
Yeah. But it's fun. Like it forces you to play each of the courses and stuff through the cafe experience because they give you little menu books and you're like. And they're like, collect these cars. And to collect those cars, you have to do a specific race, and it gives you a gift car. So it forces you to learn how Gran Turismo works, which is cool. Like, I am glad, because I remember as a kid, I played GT6, or, you know, teenager, I played GT6, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was a whole mess. I picked it up and then put it down within, like, half an hour, because... I had no idea. So this is a much easier experience. as a baby casual. So yeah, as a newbie, I really enjoyed it. I can definitely see myself playing it consistently. But yeah, if you're really hardcore into it, I can definitely see somebody being really frustrated by the credit system.
Yeah, because I mean, for a lot of people, this is the game they play.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if they feel like they're getting nickeled and dimed on it as well,
yeah,
there might be a bit resentment in there. Whoa!
Jeez.
Something happened there. Don't know what that was, but I used to have ears, and now they're gone away. I think I know what was there, and I think that's technically my fault. So let's not talk that again. Move it on.
Anyway, it's available on PS4 and PS5.
I love those platforms. They're great platforms. Okay. This is Zed Games. I'm Paul, and joining me is Elliot and Hazel.
Yo.
Hey.
And we're just back really to say goodbye. So
Yeah.
goodbye, I guess. Did you two have fun?
I had so much fun.
I had great fun.
Oh, the best fun there is.
I missed you, listeners, and I will miss you again until next time.
That's right. We're going to suck up until you... what can you do for us? Something. So before we go out tonight, we are going to leave you with Magic Source from the game Grindstone by Sam Webster. So we'll catch all later, folks. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.